Mad Church Disease, a channel that's all about current events, news, and Christian drama. A channel that's dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Our brothers and sisters who courageously stepped outside the safe bounds of institutional Christianity to tell the truth. A channel whose goal is to help the average person understand that Jesus plus nothing is everything. So, comment, subscribe, and smash the notifications button to be a part of this channel.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Hey, Shavella. Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry I'm late. I know I'm about 20 minutes late. And the reason why I'm late is because I didn't get up early to prepare for our show. So that's just the honest goodness truth. Hey, Candy. I'm not going to waste you guys' time this morning. Everybody come on in. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes so that we can make sure that everybody finds us on here. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Come on in, everybody. Please make sure that you hit the like button. Please make sure that you share this out, because when you hit the like button, it notifies other people. The problem that I'm having, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm appearing very dark. I don't know what is going on with the lights. I don't know if I'm going to have to work on this, I guess, when we get off of here, because I came in here. There's no difference in the settings that I use every day. And this thing got me as dark can be. I'm just like, and I got lights So I'm like, what's going on here? But hopefully you guys can see me very well. I'm going to turn on my phone here. Hey, Brittany. Hey, Lynn. Hey, everybody. Good morning to all of you guys. And see, what's so funny is on the live, you all, I look fine to you, but to me on the back end, I'm dark as dark can be. So I done brightened up all the lights and, oh, Father, help me. This don't even make no sense. This makes no sense. But anyway, just let me continue. Good morning to you guys. We're going to have a quick little talk this morning. I promise you guys, I'm not going to keep you here very long. I'm going to just say what I got to say, and then we're going to get out of here. Y'all know normally this is my morning talk to you guys. And we do talk trending topics or whatever, I've got coming up. But someone requested that I discuss this topic. You guys, the lighting is fine, Danielle, but on my end, it's all jacked up. Let me also say something, and I'll get into that in a minute. But thank you all so much for your love, your support, and so forth. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And y'all know this is what I'm doing in the morning, is drinking my coffee and talking to y'all. There's so much going on in the world. Let me just simply say, I got up this morning. I watched a little bit of Don Lemon as he, gave his send off to Stephen Colbert and the Late Show. I never really watched all of these late shows, like the Letterman, the Jay Leno's. I never watched none of that stuff. Now, I will be honest with you, as a child, as a younger person, I watched Johnny Carson. I enjoyed Johnny Carson, even though, when you learn in retrospect that a lot of these guys were, well, let's just call a spade a spade. They were racist. And, but I did like to watch the program because I thought Johnny Carson was hilarious. And just like I also thought Joan Rivers was hilarious as well. There's certain comedians that I like, George Carlin, George Wallace. I'm a big fan of Chris Rock. I'm a big fan of Dave Chappelle. I'm a big fan of Cat Williams. I love good comedians. I love LaWanda Page, Red Fox. Like, I like some of the old folks in the comedy game. And so, yeah. But yesterday, I'm trying some new breads because, when you're trying to maintain and keep everything, trim and slim and looking nice and trying to, as you get older, you have to really be keen in on the amount of calories and stuff that you take in. And I'm doing very, very, very well. I've been feeling really, really good for days, better than I have in a very, very long time. But it's also because I've cut a lot of carbs out of my diet, a lot of carbs and a lot of sugar out of my diet. Now, I will admit, I cheated yesterday. I really did cheat. I cheated horribly, and I'm paying the price for it. That's why I'm late this morning, because I could barely get up out of the bed this morning. Them carbs had me dragging this morning. I was like, this is why they tell me I should not be having all of these carbs, because I can tell the difference. Because when I don't eat all of that stuff, man, I'll be up, boom, boom, do, I'll be eat, so I'm like, oh, okay. And I be moving. I got up this morning. I was like, hi, bird. It was like, coffee. I need coffee. Because I could barely move this morning. I kid you not. And so I was like, okay, let me get myself together so I can at least honor my commitment and come on here in the morning. Shout out to the 3435 of you guys that are watching this morning. And so I appreciate every single one of you. And y'all have to understand something. As time goes, you guys know we're going to YouTube is changing the way the algorithm works. So I don't know if you guys know it or not. If you get notifications about my program and you get them frequently and you don't come over to watch the program, YouTube says they're going to stop sending them to you. Hey, what's up, Regina? Shout out to the Juice Radio and Talk Show. It's good to see you in here, my friend. Y'all go over there and make sure that y'all are watching and subscribing over there to Regina. Now, yeah. So, and every time I have to do that, I forget where I'm at. That's why I don't like to do it. What was I talking about? I hate when I have to do that. And because my brain don't work as good as the rest of you all, because I got a million things floating around in this marble-filled brain of mine. What was I talking about? But yeah, YouTube says that you guys got to make sure that when they send you the notifications, even if you don't plan on watching the program, hit the daggum link and come over and stay for a while, few minutes, hopefully you would, and then go. Or leave it on your phone as you're doing whatever you're doing, because thank you, Lynn. They're not going to start sending you guys notifications. And maybe I'll put together a newsletter and let y'all see what YouTube is saying. And I'll send y'all the link so y'all can read it for yourself, because it's not something that we're making up as content creators. But shout out to all of you guys this morning. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Now, if you're new to the Mad Church Disease channel, this channel is dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages who stepped out of the safe bounds of institutional Christianity to simply tell the truth. Telling the truth matters. And the more I listen to vloggers on this internet, the more I understand we are inundated with liars, and more liars. And some of them are purposely telling lies. I'm just saying. Just like some of these, these no good bishops that they're trying to cover for and do some of the things that they're doing for. But anyway, let me go on over here. I want to make sure that I'm able to make sure if you are not subscribed to the Mad Church Disease newsletter, you can do so. That information is on the screen for you. You guys the moderators will put a link down in the description for you down below, and you can make sure that you are subscribed. Now, I think what I'm going to have to start doing for myself is when I log into the system, to make sure my lights are on already, because for some odd reason, if I turn the lights on later, I think it's starting to affect the look on my end, but on your end, you're fine. So it's just a little weird. And looking at this stuff is crazy. Also, let me just tell you guys, those of us who support the Mad Church Disease channel, you guys know that when I come live, every single time that we come live, we just always ask, you are not demanded or commanded to support the channel, but we do ask everybody to support the channel. We ask that at least 10 of you guys would support the channel. And we do ask that you guys do that. All the means and the ways of doing that are on the screen. You are under no pressure. This is not $1,000 line. This is not $100 line. This is just for those of you that feel led and want to be a blessing to the platform. You have an opportunity to do it. That is the reason why we make that for that, so that you guys can do that if you want. Shout out to Pastor Jawit. Pastor Jawit was a blessing to the platform yesterday, and I want to thank him so very much again, because of your support, it helps me to pay these darn bills. I'm just going to keep it 100. Right now, I use about 3 or 4 different programs to make these thumbnails. The most expensive program is about $40 a month. The least expensive program, I believe, is like $20 a month. Now, here's the funny thing. The least expensive thumbnail maker is actually making the majority of my thumbnails now. So I might end up considering removing all the rest of those expenses and getting rid of those expenses, just so you know. So I'm working on that. I know that's right, Lynn. The preacher is a liar. Oh my God, because there'd be so much lying going on and gaslighting. I can't stand it. But anyway, I appreciate you guys, and thank y'all so very much. And I want to keep you guys as informed as possible. And so this channel is a channel that is dedicated to helping individuals who find themselves removing themselves from the institution. But I want you to understand, if you remove yourself from the institution, it doesn't necessarily mean that you removed yourself from God, the presence of God, the Spirit of God, etc. Also, for those of you that are not as traditional in the Christian faith, I want you to understand that your spiritual journey is your spiritual journey. And the foundation, the seed has already been planted. The Bible says that one plants the seed, another waters, but God gives the increase. And so we just like to believe and trust the Holy Spirit over here, that he is able to finish and complete in you what he started. And so that's just what we live and that we support over here. So I just want to make sure that I say that and make sure that we are holding fast to that and trusting God with that. But this morning's program, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into, yes, Lord, the firestorm that has been created by I'm going to say, for the sake of this video, Cheyenne Bryant and her doctor drama. And we're also going to talk a little bit about Byron Allen and his continuation of building his empire. For those of you that know me over here, you guys know I run my own business. I'm a consultant in many different areas to many different businesses, and I help a lot of people. And I don't go around bragging about those things, but even when people are trying to dox you, the one thing that they will have to acknowledge is you are always working. Now, I actually happen to run a company at this particular point in time, and the company that I am running, that I own, assists me and helps me to be able to do the things that I need to do in life, etc., etc. Let me also say this. There is no need for anyone to be worried or concerned. I am fine. I will be fine. The platform will be fine. And I need for you all to understand and rest assured in that. I've heard all the lies. I've seen all of the stuff that people are trying to do. It doesn't move me one bit. I just want you all to hear me. I keep trying to tell y'all, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Shout out to the 49 of you all that are watching. Y'all, please make sure y'all hit the like button. I need all 49 of y'all to hit the like. So that's what I want to say. Now, where do we want to start this morning? I think I want to start with, let's start with Byron Allen this morning. Let's start with Byron. For those of you that are unaware, Byron Allen is a media mogul. He is someone who owns a lot of digital assets. And we're going to talk about Cheyenne Bryant and her doctor debacle and the firestorm around that. But I want to first of all address this Byron Allen situation. Now, many of you don't know, I used to live in Venice, near the beach, in Venice Beach in Los Angeles. And which, I love, anytime I'm near water, I feel like I'm closer to God. And most people don't realize I now live somewhere where I am close to water. I'm always near water, me personally. And the reason why I'm always near water is because I really feel like the Spirit of the Lord, I just feel closer to God when I'm near water. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why, I can open my windows and feel a wonderful breeze, is because when you have a lake or something near you, whether it's man-made or not, you can typically get a nice breeze from the water, et cetera, et cetera. And so I love living near water. And when I lived on Venice Beach, I always used to go to the Century City Mall. The Century City Mall in Los Angeles, um, uh, the Century City Mall in Los Angeles is typically a lot of times where you can run into a lot of celebrities. I used to love to go to the movie theater that was there, and you would always find me outside of the Century City Mall, either reading a book, walking through the mall. That's where I met Jasmine Guy. I mean, I met so many celebrities over at the Century City Mall. And so I just love going there. So if you're in Los Angeles and you want to just enjoy a nice time, the Century City Mall is always a great place for you to go and to hang out. I used to love to do that. I would always run into Byron Allen at the daggum movies, right? And I told this to Daryl and some of the other people and some of you who are familiar with my channel. Now, the couple of times that I ran into Byron, he wasn't so nice. I have to be honest. He wasn't so nice. Now, I do understand that sometimes people have bad days, they have bad weeks, maybe a bad month. But I used to run into Byron a lot. And I'm not going to go where I would want to go normally with it. Can I be myself this morning? Him and the white lady that he had on his arm all the time, I would run into them. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. But I just noticed that Byron was always a little rude when he had his arm wrapped around whomever he was with at the time, which was typically a white lady. And, I would always say, hey, shout him out. Hey, Byron, we love you, blah, blah, blah. He would typically look over his shoulder and give me an old scowl look. And I'd be like, oh, Lord. So then at some point, I just stopped speaking, because that's just me. I don't speak. Once you teach me who you are, I leave you alone. But I have always respected Byron's hustle. Just like I respect a lot of YouTubers' hustle, because YouTube is work. Coming up here and just simply talking is not as easy as a lot of us make it seem, especially if you're trying to be entertaining. Because I know you could go and listen to some other vloggers on here that sound like they got marbles in their brains and they got mashed potatoes in their mouth. I want to talk to you. I went through a couple of channels this past week. I say, this channel is not going to make it. I ain't going to say no names. I'm going to keep it to myself. I don't care how pretty you make your thumbnails. If you're boring and you're not entertaining, people don't like to watch it. That's all I'm saying. And some of you got the personality of a gerbil, and it just doesn't make any sense. You just running around in your little gerbil ball saying all kind of stuff, and you run around the internet just trying to listen to everybody else. Get your own personality. Get your own thoughts and your own stuff and stop listening to everybody. Be yourself. Stop trying to be somebody else. Stop trying to be somebody you're not. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? The reason why I've always respected every vlogger in the space, even when I don't like them, most of you know, I will always say everybody has a right to their voice. Y'all know I'm always really big on that. But you need to get a personality. And I'm going to leave it at that. I just get a personality. Don't come online sounding like you got mashed potatoes in your mouth, because most people are just not going to want to watch you. I'm just saying. Because I mean, you know how much I was able to get through this one person's live? I was like, 2 minutes. I was like, and you know how you fast forward and you think, are they going to get to the point at some point? It makes it really hard, because, people who are jealous of me, they always do that. I came over to your channel and I was just waiting for you to listen. The people who watch me on an ongoing basis, they like this personality and they like me. Now, if you just found my channel, maybe you should put up your feet in my digital living room, but lean back and just enjoy the program until you get to the point and until we get to where we need to go. I'm just saying. All right. All right. So Byron Allen, Century City Mall, always ran into him. Byron Allen is the GOAT when it comes to forging his own way. He doesn't get a lot of credit. Even though I didn't like some of the things in his personality, how he behaved, this is a man, to me, that is going to go down in history. And he is silently creeping his way to the point to where he wants to be in the country. He has always bought a whole lot of assets. He's bought a whole lot of things. He owns the Weather Channel. He owns so much stuff. All of these people's courts and all of these court programs that you see, a lot of these programs, Byron Allen's company is the one that buys the rights to these companies so that you can still see the reruns of this and all of this other stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Now, most of you all may not know this, but late at night, he used to have a show called Comics Unleashed. And so at night, you would see this Comics Unleashed show, and you would have a bunch of comics going back and forth. Shout out to CC. Thank you so much. Can y'all please hit the like button? Now, y'all have made CC say something. Lord Jesus. Now, you know it's got to be bad when CC up here going, wait a minute, we got 72 of y'all and only 26 of y'all and hit the like button. Can y'all hit the like button, please? Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, that is now your way of supporting this show financially. If you're not supporting the show financially, can you please hit the like button? What's up, being beautifully honest? And I'm gonna drop the link for you in a little while. So let me do this. So stick around, because I'll need a woman's perspective. I really will need a woman's perspective. And we might have a real good conversation. I don't know how deep you want to go with where I want to go, but we might have a real good conversation. But anyway, so the Comics Unleashed on show. Now, most of you know that Stephen Colbert last night ended his show because Donald Trump is a douchebag and Donald Trump, can't take a joke. And now all of these corporate conglomerates have been purchased by wealthy white men, and white men are controlling these corporations. 72% of all corporations in this country are run by white men. Understand that 72% of all corporations in this country are run by white men. I want to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, that is problematic, and they are grappling to hold control of these corporations. Do you not realize that no matter where you're getting your news from right now, except for independent media on social media, that the majority of those companies are controlled by rich white men who 9 times out of 10 are Republicans? And if you read the articles and you know how to, read and decipher information, most of this stuff that you're getting every day, you're getting in a very slanted way. I noticed that about Smart News on my Android. I noticed that about a lot of other places that I go for my news is always slanted. And I'd be like, oh God, am I ever going to get the news where I could just read the news I don't want the Democrats' opinion. I don't want folks' opinion. I just want you to tell me what the news is. But you can't even do that now on NPR. You know why? Because NPR, even though they were a publicly funded situation until Donald Trump decimated that, because they allowed NPR to exist because there really wasn't a progressive place where progressive people could go, normally because progressive people don't have a lot of the money. Now, what did I tell y'all years ago? I said, we're going to have to start putting our money where our mouths are. And if you are a progressive person, you better start sowing $5, $10, $20 a month into the furtherance of your belief systems and what you hold dear in your heart and in your mind. Otherwise, you're going to disappear. And the left-leaning voice in this country is going to disappear. Now, I consider myself an independent now because I can't stand none of you. I don't like Democrats and I don't like Republicans. And why don't I like Democrats and I don't like Republicans? Because they all lie. All of them lie. And I do like some things as it relates to fiscal responsibility when it comes to the Republican Party, because everything in life is not free. You can't give away everything for free. I am a business owner. When people be talking about hollering about, free schools and free this and free that, there is no such thing as free nothing in America. Somebody's going to have to pay that. And it is typically the small business owner who is going to have the brunt, who's going to have to take the weight of the brunt of all of that stuff. I'm just saying, Bernie Sanders with his weekend at Bernie's behind, weekend at Bernie, just flounder, free college and free this and free that. I was like, can somebody please pull the string on this old man and go sit him down somewhere? Can't stand Bernie Sanders. Can't stand, because only Bernie Sanders, oh, everything's just supposed to be free. Bernie Sanders, everything's supposed to be free. Everything's supposed to be free. Oh, Lord, let me see what just happened. So oh, Lord, I just got a news wire right now. It seems like Tulsi Gabbard has resigned as Trump's top U.S. intelligence officials. Uh-oh. Lord have mercy. So either he kicked her out or she left on her own. I don't tend to believe she left on her own. Tulsi Gabbard is out, ladies and gentlemen. So that just came up to me right now. All right, so here we go. I'm just saying, 72% of all corporations run by white men. And it's just horrible to me. I just can't take it. But here's the good news. Stephen Colbert is out. Guess who is replacing the Late Show again late at night? It's always Byron Allen and that Comics Unleashed, because believe it or not, Byron Allen's Comics Unleashed does very well, and they end up having to make a deal with him to supply these shows, and that he goes in. I hope he's going in at a higher market rate. So instead of the standard market rate, because he's a lot of times saving a lot of these corporations. So let's get into this really quick. The other day, Byron Allen actually went on. I gotta find me. Lord have mercy. I done lost my little thing. Lord have mercy. That's why I tell you, having these earphones is a mess. And the only reason why I don't have my Audio Technica is because those earphones cost over $100, and it broke the other day. I don't know where my little white thing went to. All right, but anyway, let's go ahead, and I want to watch this real quick with
announcements lately. Like you're buying everything.
Mm-hmm. Well,
now let me just simply say this: we're going to stop and start this for copyright reasons. I don't want no smoke. So, and if anybody tries to do any foolishness, I am going to come back, and I am most certainly going to try and simply remove whatever they try to remove, because these people some of these bigger corporations don't like for you to talk the way that we talk independently. So he sits down with the Breakfast Club, and he has this conversation with the Breakfast Club. Charlemagne the God starts talking to him about buying up everything. Here we go.
Starz. You bought BuzzFeed. Or 10% of Starz.
Yeah. We bought just under 11%, 10.7%. I like Starz. Starz says that they're going after the underserved. That's code for black. Don't tell anybody.
We always known Starz was for black folks. That's probably going to be the only app that I keep, since I have no Game of Thrones. I have no House of Dragons. I have really nothing to watch on HBO, because I had HBO for those shows that I just mentioned to you. There's really nothing else I watch on HBO. So I don't know. I'm definitely thinking about ending my relationship with HBO. But yeah, I like Starz. I really do. The Serpent Queen. If you guys have never seen The Serpent Queen on Starz, that's one of my favorite shows as well. I watched The Serpent King because it's a period piece, and I like period pieces. So you have to understand my personality, for that.
Right. So if you're gonna go after us, maybe we should own it. All right. Mm-hmm. So if you're chasing us, we should own it. All right. So Steve Mnuchin used to be my banker before he got into politics. He was the Treasury Secretary, and I saw that he owned 11%, just under 11%. And I called him up. And
you got to be something to call the Treasury Secretary your banker. That's right then and there that these people are dealing with a level of wealth and finance that we don't have no concept of. I'm just saying.
I said, hey, do you want to own this stake in Starz? It's publicly traded. And he said, because I said, are you willing to sell it? He said, not at these prices. And I said, well, I didn't give you a price. I just asked you a question. Are you willing to sell it? He said, let me think about it. He called me back. He said, I'll sell it for $25 million. I said, no problem. Let's do it. We'll close tomorrow. So I bought it. And it was a key move because it's hard to buy close to 11% of a company without driving up the price.
Now, I know I'm not as degreed in marketing, social media, and all this kind of stuff. But I think a lot of these companies that purchase these apps need to understand if these apps are going to survive, they're going to need to integrate uh, other people and other maybe smaller entities into the app. That's why they moved the Breakfast Club to Netflix, which I don't watch the Breakfast Club on Netflix. I hear they're over there. I've never done that. But yeah, being beautifully honest, if you realize how rich this man is, people don't realize how wealthy he is. But anyway, that to him, that ain't nothing. But if you listen to what he says here in a minute, it's going to really blow your mind. But they need to incorporate. Now, being beautifully honest, this is where content creators really need to start going. Owning your assets and understanding you are a digital business and a digital company. Those of you that follow this channel, I've often told you guys, I'm not just on here talking, I'm building something, and I'm on my way to somewhere else. And see, this is why I get really offended when people come over to my channel and start telling me, oh, you don't need to ask people to support your channel. Well, here, first of all, you don't understand what I'm actually building. I haven't expressed to you all everything that the Mad Church Disease channel is going to become. I don't put that out there. I'm giving everybody an opportunity to help and to support the channel, but we are going somewhere. I want to say this and bring myself full screen as I say this. I have a vision for what we're going to do and where we're going to be and how we're going to operate. And that's why I give everybody an opportunity to support my channel. Now, listen here. If you don't give any money over here to support the channel, that's okay. We love you, appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting the like button. You are not under any obligation and you don't have no business feeling bad because you choose not to send me $5 or $10. You are okay. But the people who love me want to see me move things forward and they trust that I'm moving things in a direction that I'm moving things in, they're fine. So you're okay. I mean, we could still be friends. You all right. All right. So let's go here, ladies and gentlemen.
Because you're buying so many shares. Mm-hmm. So I was able to get it done quietly and under the radar. It was a really good move for us because we ended up being the second largest stockholder instantly. And now we have a seat at the table. And so I've made it very clear I plan to buy the whole company. I want to control that company. My first preference would be to keep it public and to take 52% of it and just control it. But they immediately adapted a poison pill and they said, hold up.
I saw that.
We do not want you to own this company or control this company. So they took a poison pill to stop me. And I said, that's okay.
And what he means by poison pill, it's always they change the rules. And they do all sorts of things on the board to prevent people from owning the majority share, especially if you're black. But it's only a matter of time.
Won't stop me. You'll just delay us, but we will eventually get what we want. My preference is for it to stay public and for me to control it 51% or greater. But if I have to, I'll buy the whole company, fire everybody, fire the board, not the people working there, get rid of the board for resisting me.
One of my favorite movies is Big Business. Y'all remember the movie Big Business with Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler? It's where they were two twins who were born, but they got mixed up at the hospital. Hilarious. One of my favorite scenes in that movie is when Bette Midler she was raised on a farm, and she has to go into a corporate meeting, and she's learned how to discuss things by watching Dynasty and Alexis Carrington on Dynasty. And so she's watching these she's watching these shows. And so she has to walk in there, and one of the scenes in there, she like fires the whole board, and she's like, well, I'm just going to replace the whole board and fire all of you and blah, 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 blah. And so when he talks about firing the whole board, that's what it made me think of. It sort of triggered that in my head. But it's a funny movie. If you've never seen that movie, you should watch that movie because it is hilarious. Bette Midler and Lily Tomlin together, hilarious.
And then take it back public.
Have you reached out to somebody like 50 Cent? I mean, to me, 50 Cent is the person who put Starz on the map.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have not.
Okay.
I didn't want to put him in a bad place and, have him to, figure out what side, just let him stay neutral, which I think is a smart place to stay. Let us duke it out in terms of who's going to own it, who's going to control it. But I'm highly confident eventually I will control Starz.
You just bought BuzzFeed as well.
Yeah, I bought BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed and HuffPost and Tasty.
Now, I need for you all to understand something about BuzzFeed and Huffington Post. Oh my God. Now, see, this is where the nerd in me comes out. I told you guys when I was a kid, I used to read the Wall Street Journal. I'm a really weird dude like that. I used to read the newspaper and stuff as a kid, like my mom. That's why I'm such a very good reader, because I used to read a lot as a child. Now, I know when I'm reading through some of these court documents, it sounds like I'm going nuts, but it's only because, you know, the language and the linguistics of what they're using in some of these documents are words and a verbiage that we most certainly do not use on an ongoing basis. And I think it is done purposely because a lot of the language that is used in a lot of these legalities and these legal documents are like 18th century English. I mean, some of this stuff came from like 1776. I'm not kidding. Some of these words is just like blue, blue, blue. But anyway, I'd be like, what the heck? But I get it. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't talk about that. Maybe another lawyer, somebody who is legal. Y'all can. Some of these words is just ridiculous. But anyway, but the Ariana Huffington, who was the owner of the Huffington Post, eventually sold the Huffington Post to AOL at one time, which was the company, I believe Time Warner came in and took over AOL and all of that stuff, and it turned over back in the day and she got out at the right time too, because she sold the Huffington Post for millions and millions of dollars, right? It was at like the height of the success of the Huffington Post. Also, Ariana Huffington was a more left-leaning paper, okay, or a place to go, right? And then when you talk about BuzzFeed, for those of you who are content creators, one of the things that I think you all really need to learn how to do is stay up on trending content creators and companies that are helping to formulate how content is spread. BuzzFeed has a system. If you understand how BuzzFeed became so popular, BuzzFeed became very popular with the two split posts that they would post all over social media, where you would have one picture on one side, another picture on another side. BuzzFeed was the one that really made that popular. And BuzzFeed blew up and they were everywhere. And so most of the stuff that was shared amongst social media is through BuzzFeed. Now, for those of us that do SEO and understand search engine optimization, and we're trying to rank our stuff for long term, because it's just not about putting out content, but it's also about ranking content. Okay. Now, a lot of these people count on these numbers on these channels, and they don't understand that a lot of people are getting seen in places and spaces that they're not, because we understand how to rank videos and how to do social media and, you know, some of those other things behind the scenes. But BuzzFeed and Huffington Post is a huge win when you understand how do I say, scale the company, you know, down, and then rebuild the company so that the company is not eating away the profits. And I think at this point, they probably have already done that as far as the Huffington Post, because in order for you to live and have a news situation, it's expensive. Just understand something. To have a CNN, an ABC, any MSNBC, all news outlets, most people don't like having news outlets because they suck a lot of money away. Now, boy, I'm giving you guys a good lesson here this morning. The reason why Roland Martin worked so well is because, and a lot of people didn't want to pay Roland, is because in order for Roland to be able to do what Roland needs to do, he's got to be out on location. He's got a whole van that he travels with. He's got a whole infrastructure that he's built. Same way with Don Lemon. The reason why these guys are so successful is because they understood the infrastructure to build. Now, one of the things that I wish and I pray and I'm asking God for in this season of my life and my journey is to surround me with people who understand building something. But because, by the way, I'm actually about to bring someone on to help me do something, the next phase of something that I want to do over here on this channel. And I need for you all to understand that takes planning, and eventually it's going to take money. Now, right now, I'm asking them to work for free, but in the meantime, eventually we hope that it's going to become a paid position. But just understand something: we're building something over here, y'all, and I'm going somewhere. I promise you, I'm going somewhere.
I felt it was very important.
We bought all of those?
Yeah, I bought them all.
It's going to all go into one, right?
No, they're already there. They're up and running. So
Okay.
yeah, I bought them all. So listen, I think it's important as Black people that we are in the publicly traded market. Markets. Publicly traded companies. That's where you can create great wealth, enormous wealth. You're talking about $100 trillion out there in the publicly traded markets. So BuzzFeed is publicly traded, and they got into some financial trouble, and they announced that they were about to go bankrupt. And I just said, okay. I called them up quickly. I said, here's the deal I would like to do, and I said, I want to control 52% of the company. I want to control the board. And
Now, let me ask you guys something. Are you guys aware that Byron Allen owns the Griot? Did y'all know he owns the Griot? Now, as a businessman, I want you all to think about what's happening here. We'll talk about that in a minute. Y'all stick a pin there and remind me to talk about that. He owns the Griot, so y'all need to keep that in mind. The Griot is a television show. It's also a website, social media. Pay attention.
And I said, here's $120 million. And here's how I want to structure it. I'll give you $20 million now, cash, and a promissory note of $100 million at 5% interest, due and payable in 5 years. And I'm buying 40 million shares. I bought 40 million shares at $3 a share. That's the $120 million. Now, when I went to buy the 40 million shares, the stock was only trading at like 60 to 70 cents a share. So when it got announced, it jumped up to like $1.30 or whatever, $1.40 or whatever it is. So me putting $120 million on the table and saying, I believe in my ability and I believe in myself and my man.
That's another thing. I need for content creators to start really believing in yourself. Let me tell you something. This is another reason why I don't let other people come into this space and tell me what I'm supposed to do when they have 12 and 53 people watching them and they want to tell me I need to come and sit at their feet. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am. I have been working with AI long before so many other people. Truthfully, some of us who've been in this space for a long time, we are learning constantly. We're constantly learning new things. I've got a class to take here soon. 2 classes, as a matter of fact. So understand something. We're always learning, those of us who do this, because I refuse to be left behind on AI. I refuse to be left behind. Even though I know I'm older, I do try to keep up, ladies and gentlemen. I try to keep up, and you should too. But own your stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Own your assets.
Management team. I believe in the brands BuzzFeed and HuffPost and Tasty. I believe that we will get this $3. We'll get past this $3 a share well within the 5-year period. But I'm investing in these brands. And I see the opportunity is to use AI to enable us to do more streaming.
Now listen to this. Now, if you don't get anything else he said this morning, listen to this, because this is key. This is crucial. And this makes me excited.
AI generated content. But I also invested about $150 million to do something called Local Now, which uses our.
Now, being beautifully honest, if you want to keep up with the money he's spending, that's $300 million. He gave $150 million to the other company. He gave him $20 million up front. The rest of the money is going to come in the next 5 years. But he also just spent another $150 million in this other company called Local Now. So if you all are familiar with Local Now and the news that's coming through Local Now, you will understand what's being done. Okay, let's go.
Artificial intelligence and proprietary software to curate, stream, and aggregate super hyper local news, weather, sports, and traffic geofence to the user's zip code.
Now, do you all understand what geofencing is? Some of you don't know. Some of you don't know this stuff. When you're in your local area and you see an ad for a restaurant that is in your local area, that's because it's been what they call geofenced. If you don't understand geofencing, when you do Google ads, you need to understand whoever is placing your ads, they're doing something called geofencing. And geofencing is where they take those zip codes and specifically target certain zip codes. Because some of you waste your money on your advertising because you trying to spread your message to everybody when you need to specifically geo-fence your message to specific zip codes, because you're going to be more apt to get the kind of business that you can, the money you can earn, the money from the kind of businesses and the people that are surrounding your zip code. That's called geo-fencing. All right. We've been doing that for years, and retargeting and all of this stuff. This stuff is not new to those of us who are in marketing. Geo-fencing, that's seriously what that is.
And I couldn't be happier, because we as Black folks, we have to have a seat at the table as it relates to technology, content, and the intersection of technology and content and artificial intelligence.
I know you've been here for a while, so I got a couple more questions.
No.
You fight a lot of corporate fights, right?
Yeah.
And I know you reached a settlement.
All right, now I'm gonna leave it there for the Byron Allen. I'm gonna leave it there for now, ladies and gentlemen. But he's buying up everything. He's buying up everything. And that's Byron Allen. I have much respect for Byron Allen for what he's doing in that area and in that market, ladies and gentlemen. And for that, he deserves, to me, I'm just saying, for all of those people that understand the significance of what he's doing, he deserves an applause. I applaud him. I applaud him. I really do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you all at this particular point, I want to make sure that the likes are up. Y'all, please hit the like button for me before we get into Cheyenne Bryant and I bring up Being Beautifully Honest, because this is going to be a conversation, and I'm going to say some stuff here that's been weighing on me that I think I need to communicate. But let me say this. All right, everybody. Thank y'all so very much. Well, the young lady that you see on your screen at this particular time, her name is Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Dr. Cheyenne, she was going by Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Did I do that again? I did, didn't I? I called her doctor. She's referred to herself as a doctor. It says that she has several doctor degrees. And a lot of that over the last couple of days has been in question. She has been going around the internet. She was on the Breakfast Club. She said she was only going to speak about it once. And then she went into this, tirade about the only person that she needed to clarify things for were her followers and the people who supported her. And on some level, I understand that, because you sometimes, as a content creator or someone who has put yourself out into the public, you really don't want to spend all of your time answering to people who don't know you, don't like you, don't care for you. That's another reason why now I've gotten into the habit on this channel is I just block and delete people. I don't even read the comments. If I read through a little bit and I see that you going left, you get out of here real quick. I don't even waste my time anymore. And the reason why I just block and delete people at this point, because there's millions of people in the world, and I'm not going to waste my time with bots and people who buy accounts just so you can come over and try to agitate a person. Understand something. You ain't agitating me. Only part that you agitating, you making me have to do more work. And in a minute, I'm about to use AI to just get rid of you. It ain't even gonna let your comments stay up. It's gonna zip zap you right on away. So, because I'm about to implement something using AI. When you come over here with your foolishness, it's gonna zip zap you right on away. So on this channel, you will not be able to get away with it. I'm just telling you now. So don't even waste your time, because I'm gonna zip zap your behind. Right on the way. Amen. Bless God. But anyway, I want to show you guys. Now, let me just say this. I got a couple things I want to say this before I show you this video. Ladies and gentlemen, there have been a lot of schools in the country who go out of business. In California, we used to have a school called DeVry. I don't know if DeVry is still in business, but I think they went out of business. DeVry was a big thing. They used to push DeVry in the 90s. People was going to this school. They were getting their degrees in this school, and the next thing you know, the school went up in smoke. Because a lot of times, a lot of these schools, a lot of these rich white men in the country who own 72% of all, or who are all the CEOs, in my opinion, this is my opinion, they invest in a lot of these things not for longevity. They invest of it so that they can get the money from the government to start it. They can live off of it for a couple of years. And this is the system of how things are really working in this country. And then the next thing you know, they either try to sell off the assets or they just close it down and move on to another business or another business venture. And so that's what a lot of these people do. It's happening in prison system. Just about every business that you can think of, if they can get away with doing things cheaper, with less, with the worst kind of labor, and all of those types of things, they're going to do it in this country. That's why you lowballing yourself is going to hurt you. That's why you need to, as my mentor used to tell me all the time, you need to increase your value to the marketplace. The more valuable you become to the marketplace. That's why I'm not cheap. That's why if you want my time, hey Pouncy, if you want my time and you want my attention, you're going to have to pay for it. Okay. And by the way, I want to make this announcement. There are no more free consultations from me to anybody. I don't give free consultations at all anymore at all, period. And so I just want to make that, now you can talk with me for about 5 minutes for free, but that's all. I limit you to about 5 minutes, because it's very, very simple. If you need my help and you want some help, trust me, I am well worth the money. I'm just putting it to you like that. I'm not. And those of you that have gotten a free consultation from me, I give you way more than anything that should ever be given to you for free. So I'm done. I give away a lot of resources. I direct people where to go to get the questions answered and how they can fix what they need to get fixed. I ain't doing that no more. Now, you might have seen the commercial and every now and then, and I'm fixing my commercials over the next couple of days. There ain't going to be no more free consultations. I just want to say that. I'm not trying to be rude or mean or anything. I just understand my value. You need to treat yourself the same way. Stop giving away your pearls to swine, okay? Because that's what they're going to do. Now, I said all of that to say this. This young lady may have gone to a school. I don't know. I'm not going to make all sorts of assumptions about her. I've heard and seen a lot of things on the internet that says that, they can't trace her, they can't track her, they can't find her. But yesterday I was watching a channel, and this lady was a wonderful channel. She's an older woman, and she was discussing this, and she actually brought up a video, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to share with you guys right now that sent me into oh my God, this woman is crazy kind of a situation. She, I guess, was a guest or was a co-host on a show. And I want to show you the attitude, the disposition of this woman. And let's get into it, because she said a couple of things that I want to address culturally that people need to grow up and grow from.
The notion of holding parents criminally responsible.
And again, I'm using this for copyright reasons. According to the U.S. Copyright Act, we have the ability to use this for commentary, teaching, education, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, watch this.
For their children's behavior.
I said it earlier. I said it's circumstantial. I think that if a parent is neglecting their child of what's needed for them to be mentally stable and healthy and be in a state of mind where they can actually, operate as a citizen who isn't impaired, then I think that that parent who's providing those resources, should not be have consequence or discipline. But again, if you're neglecting your child in any manner, I think there should be consequences to a parent, no matter what, if there's neglect.
Now, I will say this. Sometimes, just not to comment about this, but I think we just need to understand. Sometimes parents aren't neglecting their child. Sometimes parents have to work so much that it can appear to be neglect because they're trying to provide for a child. I don't think a lot of times we leave room for that understanding. Sometimes it's not neglect. Sometimes it's that they have to work so hard and diligently in our society to make sure that everything that concerns that child is provided for. And sometimes a lot of women are doing that in a single, they're a single parent. And so they're doing the very best that they can for their child. I'm just saying. I think that is a more balanced approach to that, in my opinion.
At the hands of a child. But y'all know how I feel. I feel gentle parenting makes for gentle a child. I think that there are rules and in their structure, and there's a thing called boundaries, and boundaries have been proven to create healthy relationships, not just between people, but for that person within themselves. And if we raise kids with no boundaries and no structure and discipline, they go out into the world and they don't understand that, and they end up being in battles, and they end up actually having a lot of issues with law enforcement. They end up being the child that's disruptive in school and class because they don't understand.
Now, let me just say this. Raising a child with boundaries comes with another B, and it's called balance. You must have in order to have a boundary created, you must have balance. Balance in your thought life, balance in your emotional health, balance in other areas of your lives. And unfortunately, as African American people, a lot of times we are raised in unbalanced situations. Now, as a man, and see, this is another reason why being beautifully honest, I'm going to drop this link for you now, because I know I'm going to say some things that might irritate some of the women here. And I would prefer the ladies to give a different perspective of this. And Regina, if you're still around, please feel free to hit that link, because I'm going to speak from a male perspective. I cannot speak from a female perspective. So this is my perspective, ladies. So don't get all in a bunch because I say what I say. This is coming from a man. I believe a reason why a lot of balance is not in a lot of Black homes is because there is no man present. And the man that is present is typically there on a temporary basis until he solves a problem or an issue. Could be financially, could be sexually, could be any of those different things. But I just want to simply say, now, this is based also on my own experiences and what I have seen in the dynamics that surround my life. And I do understand that the microcosm of my life is not the world's experience, because as I became a teenager, I was able to see some men in some homes who were able to run their homes well, provided for their wives, and created a great sense of balance. But I also understand that there is also another segment of society who does not necessarily understand the balance of that and bring balance to that. And I think that is problematic. And one of the reasons why we have so many unbalanced homes in America, especially, I can only speak about what I've seen in the Black culture, is the fact, and I know it happens in white people culture too, because there's some white people that are totally off balance. When the whole reason why you have a Karen is because Karen is crazy and she's off balance. She ain't got no balance. She ain't got no man to bring some level of balance to her. You understand? The reason why Karen don't know how to mind her own darn business is because she ain't got no man to say, hey, shut your mouth. That don't concern you. Stay out of them people's business. You understand? Because there needs to be balance. So you're either going to get it from your father, or you might end up getting it from a man who has been fathered. Now, a man can be fathered by a natural father, but he can also be fathered by our heavenly Father. You can tell, or you should be able to tell as a woman, what kind of man you dealing with. You understand what I'm saying? You should be able at some point to figure out what kind of person you're dealing with. And welcome to the platform, being beautifully honest. I got you here, a woman of God, to bring me some balance, because at some point they gonna hate something I'm gonna say here in this situation.
They might not like what I say either. You know?
I'm just saying they gonna hate something I say, because I'm about to get real deep in here in just a second. So y'all hang on. So when you see a lot of people in the Black culture and in the Black society have such off balance, and people being off balance. And I'm going to tell you how God showed this to me. There was one day when my niece and my sister were going at each other. They were just going. I walked into that situation, and I'm sorry, I had to raise my voice and go off. Mm-hmm. And I noticed what a calm and peace we had in the valley after I said what I said. Everything just went, And I said, And at that moment, I heard, just like I'm sitting here talking to you, God say to me, this is why men are necessary in homes. Yeah. Let me tell you something. Now, ladies, y'all, some of you not going to like what I'm going to say right here, but I got to be myself. I have seen situations where mothers have been jealous of their own daughters. Mm-hmm. And they will do things and say things to their daughters to create friction and fighting, even sometimes where their father is present in the home, to try to pit the father against the daughter, so that because they feel like the father shows too much support to the daughter, and they create all of this tension. And in order for you to have a balanced home, you must bring balance. That as the father has to understand that the child doesn't control the situation, that you married this woman and you in love with this woman, and you don't have no business letting your children run the situation, but you need to have balance there, right? And so that is something that a man has to do. That's why the Bible calls it, well, the Bible doesn't say this, but let me correct myself. The Bible don't say that. Society calls it a husband or house band. The word husband comes from house band. That means your responsibility is to keep your home together. If a home is falling apart, it's not your wife's fault, sir.
Absolutely.
It's not your wife's fault. It's your fault, because that's what the word husband means. It means house band. It means you are the protector. You are the person that is supposed to bring balance, and you bring balance emotionally, psychologically, and financially. You don't get to let your wife just go hiding clothes in the closet and in the trunk of the car, and then next thing you know, you got a pile of bills, and you like, what the heck done happened? No, you bring that stuff out. You don't just make excuses and go, oh, she's spending all the money, and then now you in financial difficulty, having to borrow all the money from your friends and your family because you can't get control of the situation in your house. Yeah. And I said all of that because there's a lot of dynamics working here with this Dr. Cheyenne Bryant situation. And I just wanted to bring that up. Okay. Now, based on what I said, Dr. Beautifully Honest, I'm calling you doctor, because everybody's a doctor now. Can we just say that? Doctor, being beautifully honest, would you like to add or disagree with anything I've said thus far? Feel free to do so.
No, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with anything you said. I will just add to say the right man, psychologically well, because some men are not right. Mm-hmm. And so they just feel because they are a man that if they are there, then you're supposed to listen to them and do whatever they say and all this other stuff. Right. But it's like, some of these niggas, excuse my language.
Right. I understand.
Some of them ain't right either. So, it's the right man, not just because it is a man. But I do agree that the man being in the household sets the thermostat pretty much, where it involves how things play out in the household. Because if you got a man who is not psychologically well, wasn't, raised with the right morals and standards and different things like that, then they're not going to lead the household well. So, right. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and so if they are that way in the household, they set the thermostat where the house is going crazy because the woman can't be led the right way,
Absolutely. And I think that is beautifully said, and I don't need to add anything to it. Let's get back here to Doctor, because I'm going somewhere.
Yeah.
That the world doesn't revolve around them. There's a big world that they are able to participate in, but they cannot be the center of attention to everything. And so I'll end on saying that what I do agree with.
Now, notice she said, I'll end on saying. Notice she said, I will end, which means you should be done, right? Keep watching.
Is that every child is different, and that every child may not necessarily need the same level of discipline, but every child does need structure and discipline in order for that child to grow up and be an adult who understands that this is the law of the land. This is how life works. And successful people, not just only externally, but internally, what they do carry at the nucleus of who they are is discipline and boundaries.
If gentle parenting creates gentle children, sign me up. I definitely want to create more gentle adults, especially men. Hold on, everybody, especially men.
You are a gentle.
God,
you are a very.
Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. That's what we need in the world is more gentle men who understand.
You're very gentle.
Now you see how she keeps interrupting him. You see how she's doing this. She keeps interrupting him. Now look at the look on his face. Yeah. Look at the look. Now, ladies, here's something I'm personally working on myself. I'm a talker by nature. That's why I'm up on here on this little screen. I talks a whole lot. Okay. So let me explain something to you. Any woman who deals with me must understand that I am an opinionated man. I'm not a man who sits back in the corner and holds onto his crotch and be like, man, fuck this girl. You understand? That ain't me. You understand what I mean? That ain't me. That ain't me. I'm opinionated. I can think. I can reason, right? So, you know, I can articulate. So any person who deals with me has to understand I'm not going to be the nigga who just walks out of the room and closes the door behind him while you sit and go around the house hollering and screaming and talking all foolish. After a while, I'm going to come back in the room and tell you to shut up and go sit your down somewhere, right. Especially up in this house, because I like peace. I don't like a whole bunch of foolishness and carrying on, right? So, you know, you got to understand that. But the look on this man's face pretty much is telling you where this is about to go, which should have been a social clue to a woman who understands the dynamics of a man. Because let me explain something to you, ladies. We actually do speak to you and communicate to you in so many different ways, but you have to be able to understand the frequency by which we are speaking. And most of the time, because even though I'm online, you know, people think this is how I am in my everyday life, which is really not true. This is actually just how it's an outlet for me. It's a way for me to communicate. Yeah. But in my everyday life, I'm not trying to get up into no arguments and in nobody's face about nothing. I'm somewhere reading. I am a total nerd. How do you think I know about the Griot and BuzzFeed and Ariana Post and who's doing this and who's doing that? Because I'm reading. Oh, I'm just saying, I spend the majority of my day reading. Okay. Yeah. And now some days I will get on the internet and scour and see what people are talking about on social media, but I don't know primarily what's going on there. But right. I'm just saying, I have to say that because there's another thing that I want to talk about. Oh, it's about to get deep. So hang on to your hat, Dr. Being Beautifully Honest. Okay, here we go. Yes, too many men expect because they're males to be followed by a female. And that was the other thing that Dr. Being Beautifully Honest said. I'm gonna keep saying that.
Every time.
I know. Here we go. We need more Renaissance. Well, yes. Well, let me explain something to you. Real men understand, and I'm so glad I get to say this publicly because I don't know if I've ever said this to you all. Real men understand the value of a woman. Let me explain something to you. Any man that dishonors a woman and devalues her 9 times out of 10 is not going to be my friend for very long. Because let me explain something to you. Now, this is my personal belief, but I believe the Bible bears this out. Yeah. You can't enter into the realm of the earth without a woman. A woman is the portal from eternity into time. Yes. I want you to understand something. The significance of a woman to God. Because God could have created another type of creature that could have brought things from eternity into time because he's God, right? You understand what I'm saying? Oh, God, I wish I had time because I would say something right here. Listen here, fellas. If you understood what I understand, you get to experience a level of eternity through intimacy. Oh, Lord. Okay. Okay. Because see, y'all don't read like I read. I'm just saying, do you not realize as a man, you get to experience a level of eternity through intimacy? Because you are entering into the very thing that anything that has to enter into into eternity or to the eternal has to go through there. I'm just saying so that you understand. And the reason why it's yum delicious is because God created the portal by which I'm trying to get you to understand something here. So when you devalue, I had a moment there. Let me pause. I gotta go on. I almost got stuck. Let me say something here. Real men value women. We do not devalue their intelligence. We do not devalue their intuition. Let me tell you the thing that I appreciate more than anything, or maybe one other thing, but the most thing that I love so much is a woman's intuition. Let me tell you something, men. We don't have it. We don't have it. The only way you get it is you have to have a relationship with the Holy Spirit. And we typically refer to that as discernment.
Right.
But listen to me. Women come packaged with discernment. It is a part of their nature. Now, ladies, here's another thing. This is why I get so frustrated sometimes when women don't follow their intuition and their discernment. Because when you get a feeling, ladies, and you feel like something just ain't right and something just not agreeing with you, you need to pay attention to the discernment that you have. And when you dishonor your discernment, to me personally, I think you're dishonoring God, and you're also dishonoring what God has put in you. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. All right.
That.
All right. Anything you want to add to that before I go back to our video?
No, I mean, I agree with that. And that's why I rarely spend, if ever, any time. Actually, I don't spend any time where it involves that red pill community with these guys online that do these podcasts where all they do is, talk about what women need to do and all this other stuff all day, because you can clearly tell these are either some losers who've never had a woman in their life. And if they're having sex, it's because they're paying for it. You know what I mean? They don't have a real relationship.
Well, being beautifully honest, being beautifully honest, let's take a look at the fact of all of these men on social media that we've heard. Derek Jackson, what's My Dear Future Wifey podcast.
Yeah.
All of these men that you've come out here, and the women, just especially these silly church women, just fall in love with, right? Just fall in love with. And all of these gurus, all these relationship gurus, all of these people on the internet who come on and who keep talking about all of this stuff, all of them end up being revealed as being idiots.
Exactly.
All of them. They end up showing how stupid they are. They end up showing how they make absolutely no sense whatsoever. And we have to deal with these people and so forth and so on. So I just want to say publicly, men, real men. And see, this is another thing I want to talk about right here. And I'm going to take a moment. No, I'm going to wait till this clip roll because I got to get into something here. But some of you ladies with your alpha male, and I got to have this kind of dude and all this with your dumb self. And I said it, what I said. I'm going to help you out in just a minute, because some of you, all of these brothers that you got, listen here. Okay, let me play the video because I'm about to go there. I got something for you, so stick around because it's on its way. Train number 9 is coming down the MCD line, and this train is not going to jump the track because I got something for your back. All right, here we go.
And it comes at an angle that doesn't always work for people.
Let's just stop.
And by the way, she elevated her voice while he was trying to speak. You all couldn't hear it. But when she saw him trying to speak, she elevated her voice. Okay. Which is another sign, ladies, that as a man, let me tell you something. Let's say, for instance, you're dating a guy, ladies. And I'm gonna be real honest here. You love this man. You sleep with this man. You make love to this man. One of the most disrespectful things to do is to keep cutting us off while we're trying to speak, when normally we don't give you too many damn words anyway, right? So when we take the opportunity to speak to you, you need to listen to what we are saying, because some of you maybe have never had brothers or maybe been raised by your father. That's why I love a man by the name of Jenks Morgan. Some of you don't even know who Jenks Morgan is. I need to introduce you. He's a black filmmaker. Jenks used to be on my other Facebook page. I need to see if he's still my friend on my one that I have now. Black documentary, wonderful man. One of the things that Jenks always talks about is when a woman has never had a good relationship with a father or her father, as a man, we can always distinguish certain things in her because of the way she responds to things. Yeah. And it's not that men are being aggressive or overly aggressive. It's just that we understand the dynamic of that. Those of us who have been balanced and who are reading and studying, et cetera, et cetera. Don't cut us off when we're trying to speak. And some of you little, you do it on purpose because you know you're going to upset us because we don't say that much normally anyway. Now, I done told you I talks a lot. So you can cut me off all you want to, because I'm going to wait till you finish done talking, and I'm going to keep right on talking, because once you tell me I can't speak, especially in the house that I'm paying all the bills for and I'm doing all the talking, yeah, I am going to talk. I'm going to keep right on talking. Better go somewhere and sit down. I'm the one who washing your car, putting gas in your car, making sure your tires are inflated and you ain't got to be stranded on the side of the road. Who you think you talking to? Do you know the amount of strength that it takes to get up early in the morning to go make sure that somebody else has everything that they need? Better shut your mouth. Moving right on. Welcome, Darielle, to the platform.
Darielle.
I'm sorry. I had a moment. I had a moment. Go ahead.
What's going on, guys? What's going on, Marcellus?
Dr. Darielle, we're glad that you're here with us, and I'm here with Dr. Being Beautifully Honest. What would you like to add before I play the rest of this clip?
I've been following this story for the last week, and nobody's talking about this, but the comedian Corey Holcomb called her out for like the last 2 years and said this woman is lying. She does not have the degrees. Let's keep in mind where we first met her. We first met her on reality television.
Right.
People forget about that. She was on Basketball Wives, and then she was a life coach on Teen Mom. So right there is red flags. And then it's a little bit of word of advice for people. If you claim to be anything that you say you are, you better have qualifications and you better have the backing, because it's clear like she was caught in a 180 and now she's just all over the place.
Well, she's spinning out of control. She's spinning out of control.
Out of control. Completely out of control.
Now, my advice to her is to shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Stop. Take doctor down from your website. Take doctor everywhere your name is says doctor, remove it, because guess what? It is a crime to do that.
It is. In certain states, you can get arrested for this.
Now, people don't. That's the other thing, because I remember telling Dr. Dingleberry, you need to stop telling all these people you a doctor and you got all of these degrees and you got these church degrees like I got that don't mean nothing. These degrees don't mean nothing, because a lot of times these degrees, the school might have existed. It might have existed. You might have done the course curriculum and went through all of the hours, but the degree ain't worth nothing.
Ain't worth nothing. And the other thing is, it's not just the fact that she's doubling down on this lie, but her peers, her so-called peers in the mental health profession have all stepped up to the plate and said, this woman is a problem because you're bringing grifting into a profession that is so desperately needed in our African-American community.
Yes.
Right.
It's so offensive.
It's incredibly offensive. Oh. It's not even funny. It is funny because that onesie she wore, that Lover's Lane onesie she wore to the Young Jeezy concert, that's a red flag right there. That was a red flag for me. I'm like,
yeah, it was a red flag. All right. It was a red flag to pay attention, pay attention. I was paying attention because I ain't had no problem with that outfit. Moving right on, Darielle.
I didn't have a problem either. But when you call yourself a licensed psychiatrist,
I know, but that should have told, well, you know,
that was a red flag for everybody.
That told us everything we needed to know. I don't know about nobody else, because I saw another video of her twerking. I was like, this is not the behavior normally of a doctor.
And keep in mind the platforms that she's been participating in: Cam Newton, Joe Budden, Shannon Sharp. Let's be clear, all them niggas are idiots. Sorry, I mean, this is like, let's just keep it a buck. Yeah. They're not playing on the full deck of cards to begin with.
Right.
No. So and then keep in mind, just to the recent video you just posted, when you have professionals that are listening to her at a surface level and are saying, you don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Right.
And she don't know what to do. So let me stop right here and let me
all right. So Darielle, I'll just simply say this. How do I say this? I told you all on the other program, when I first saw this lady, the thing that came to me immediately was she's looking to bag a rich man. Or either a rich and famous person, because she wants to be in that whole celebrity culture world, right? And that's how she came off to me. I knew off rip, this woman's trying to find her somebody who's rich, who's going to go ahead and try to wife her, because I don't care what nobody says. She done slept with a few of these people, because one thing I know about celebrity culture, y'all sure know how to keep a good secret. Y'all sure will keep a secret where nobody's business. But anyway, let's get here, because watch this. This is about to explode. Watch this.
Let's just stop and go back, because I'm wrapping the show and you're interrupting me.
First of all,
this is what we spent a whole meeting on this.
First of all, Teray, first of all,
why don't you let me wrap the show? I'm ending the show.
First of
What
all,
is the point of interrupting
First
me?
of all,
We're getting out of
first of all,
here.
Teray,
Like, what is the point?
Teray,
What is the point? It says
lower
go to
your
host
fucking
up.
voice when
And
you're
even
talking to
still,
me.
you're arguing
Lower
with
your
me.
fucking voice when you're talking to
what the
me
fuck?
because you're
Like, can we
acting very,
finish the
very
show?
gentle,
We're
very
ending the
soft, and
show.
very feminine. And
The
this is
show
the
is
problem.
over.
Teray, you talk
What
to
are
your
you
wife
doing?
like that. You don't
What?
talk to
It
me
says
like
in
that.
the script.
I am not
Let
your
him
wife.
finish.
You don't talk to
Why
me
does it
like
need to
that.
stay in
I'm
the
not
script?
your wife,
Let him
gentle.
finish.
I'm not your
Like, what
wife,
the fuck?
softy. Don't
What are
talk
we
to me like
doing?
that. You talk
What are
to
we
your
doing?
wife
Let
like
me
that,
finish the
not
show.
me. Teray,
This is
talk
not
to your wife
professional.
like that. Do not talk to
This
me
is
like
not
that.
professional.
That is
Like, what
not
the
how.
fuck?
That is not how you
Let me
profess.
finish.
That is not how you professionally approach me. Don't fucking talk to me like.
Now, what just happened is the executive producer
Yes.
just came into the program. She muted Torre, muted him, even though he has decades of experience. Now, most of you don't realize who this person
Yeah.
is.
He's
Some
a
of y'all-
journalistic icon. He's been
Right,
around
right.
for over 30 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, this guy, I mean, really is, like they just said, is an icon. So the executive producer, who happens to be a woman, mutes the man, lets her continue to speak, and watch how this ends.
That. Check
Frank and Ariva, I apologize.
check yourself. You don't talk to me like.
She comes and apologizes to the two hosts at the bottom. She doesn't apologize to Torre. She apologizes to the two people at the bottom, and she continues to let this woman speak. Watch this.
Hold
Talk
on,
to your
Doc.
wife like that.
Doc, hold on.
Shut the fuck up talking to me like that. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Marcella, stop it real quick.
You better tap into your gentleness and.
So, I didn't mean to cut you off so quick, but I want to just showcase to the community. Look at her demeanor.
Yeah.
And look at how she is speaking. This is supposed to be a licensed therapist who is PhD certified. And you're talking this gutter to a black man like this. No decorum, no posture. All of that screams unprofessional.
Absolutely.
All of this also screams a woman who doesn't really want a man.
Well, see, and when you were saying, and that's the thing, because I didn't want to interject, but when you were saying she's looking for a rich man, I said she's looking for riches, but I don't think she cares about it being a man.
Right.
And Tasha K said a while ago that this woman is a lesbian, and then last Friday, I believe it was, she had a live call with the woman who used to be on Basketball Wives, like you mentioned, and her name is Brooke Bailey, and she said, from what I remember, she used to be with women.
Go back on the episode. There was a whole butch girl that was with her.
And I never
Corey,
like that.
I did do some research. Corey Holcomb said, because y'all brought it up, I didn't. Keep in mind, this is the Bad Church Disease channel, and we are a channel that is dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages who stepped out of the safe bounds of institutional Christianity to tell the truth. Corey Holcomb said that she was a stripper.
Wow. Yeah.
That's what he said. He said her history was she came from an exotic kind of dancing background. Now, based upon how she dances and how she conducts herself, I don't know whether that is true or not. I'm just going to simply say allege, but the way she moves and the way she talks and how she conducts herself, it seems a little stripperish to me.
She was a video vixen back in the day. That's another thing. All this is sort of like, you can go online and pull all this stuff. She was in music videos with Usher and a couple of the rappers. Like, it's certified that she's
So
in
she's
there.
always been around celebrity. So she's been adjacent to celebrity, but really not been acclimated into the culture. And so now that she's able to sit on these couches and spaces and places with these so-called celebrities, you know, some people look at that as if they are being elevated. Like some vloggers look like if they're able to sit down with certain preachers and bishops that you're being elevated. I want you all to hear me very carefully. I don't look at none of that stuff like no elevation. Right. Understand, if you understand who you are and what you bring to the table, that is no elevation, because quite consequently, if you really research some of these people who wear all these collars and I'm talking about they bishop this and intergalactic one to that, they as dumb as a box of rocks.
Right.
They're stupid.
And I also wanted to bring this up. Do y'all remember the actress Trey Byer? She used to be on Dynasty back in the day. She played Diane Carroll's
Oh,
daughter.
this here, that's way back. No, my
Oh,
brain
you
is
know
not
you
gonna
watched
let me
that,
do that. No,
Marcel.
my mama made me watch all that crap, but all I'm gonna tell you is that's too far for me to go back.
She was you know the movie The Five Heartbeats.
Yes.
Old girl's girlfriend, the drug addict's girlfriend, light skinned girl.
Give it up, Darielle. Just say what you got to say, because I have no clue.
She grew up in Hollywood. She has a PhD in psychiatry and is a licensed therapist. And you can pull her information and her dissertation all online. And we got to scritch and scrape and look through the corners of the internet just to see a University of Phoenix degree for this nut.
Right.
And I'm Baby Doll. She played Baby Doll. That's right.
Oh, okay. I was trying to picture. Okay.
Yeah, she played. She's a licensed therapist now. She left Hollywood, get a PhD, a licensed therapist, and all of that. And she does therapy.
So she followed her passion. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
But all I have to say, like, I'm saying, like, it is doable, but she's trifling and lazy. And thought that she can just put a doctor on her title and think that she's smart, and everybody that's in the industry and even professional could be like, no, you're not. Because the woman said doctorial and not doctoral. That was a red flag for everybody right there.
And it just shows the level of ego that this chick has, because think about it. She just has to have that doctor title. If she was just telling people, I'm a certified life coach, think about it. Nobody would be giving her this heat right now, because who freaking cares if you say you're a certified life coach? If people choose to pay you money because they need a life coach or whatever, you could do that. It's not a big deal, but she's telling people she doesn't have to prove her education and I work for what I have and whatever. It's like, wow. So
if she has done any form of therapy, you do have to showcase that in the court of law.
Let me clear this. Can I clear this up for somebody? No, Sandra, this is not Dr. Jamal Bryant's wife. They just happen to share the same last name. The woman that we are referring to is this light-skinned lady that you see in the upper. Well, for me, it's the upper right-hand corner. It might be the left-hand corner for you, but no. And y'all better not come over here saying nothing bad about no Dr. Carrie Bryant, or you might show enough get the booth off of this here platform. I'm telling you that right now. Because I love me some Dr. Carrie Bryant.
I got nothing to do with that. Leave me out of that.
We need to also have a conversation about pretty privilege.
Oh, yeah.
Well, stick right there. Let me finish this. We're going to talk about pretty privilege, and then I'm also going to talk about what it means to be a man, because she did a lot of emasculating in this little small section that I wanted to address. And I want to address, because some of you come over here on my platform and you think that I don't pay attention to what you say in these comments and how y'all play too much, and I need to go ahead and say something to that myself. So let's go ahead and finish this off. Here we go. We ain't got that much left.
Real quick.
Are we ready?
I've been ready. Been ready.
Ariba, Frank, you guys ready?
Yep.
You ready, Tori, to wrap this up?
Yes, as I was doing.
And then we'll speak off camera. Here we go.
We always ask, when should a parent be held responsible?
And ladies and gentlemen, he went to do what we as men typically do. We just go and handle our business and do what we're supposed to do and end the show and went on back. But I want to highlight a couple of things here. So I'm going to take us back for just a minute, because this is something that I need to address. And I'm going to address, because I want you all to watch what she does here.
So, I'm not your wife, Softy.
Now, I want you to hear something. She recognizes the fact that he has a wife. The whole conversation started about, I want y'all to understand something, started about creating gentle people and gentle men who understand being how, the cross section between having some level of gentleness and also still being a man. So while he's saying in the context of this conversation, yes, I'm all for producing more gentle children and gentle male children who understand that dynamic, she then turns that around against him in this arguments by calling him a gentle man, and then turns around and says that he was acting quote unquote real feminine.
Yeah.
Now, let me address something as a grown man, because that's all I had to say about that part. We're going to move right along so I can get done with what I got to say here. Some Black people in general, and I'm 50-some years old, because I will say what the hell I want to say. This is my platform, and now I'm going to say what I want to say right here. So pray for me, because you're going to need some prayer right here. I am so sick of all of you all trying to determine what masculinity is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
You are a stupid person and a stupid individual if you think that masculinity has to come with this deep voice or this whatever you think in your mind, or whatever you've created in your mind or define masculinity as. A man can only sound like this, and a man can only look like this. And this is why some of you end up marrying down low men, because they have all of these deep voices and all these muscles, and they's trying to sleep with your brother. They don't even care nothing about you with your stupid self. And I'm trying to get you to understand you have some warped concepts about what masculinity is. Absolutely. I've had people over here that have followed me for years that are no longer over here because they came saying some yappity stuff to me. Oh, well, other people are thinking this. I don't give two craps what other people think about me as an individual. I am 50 years old. Right. I think I know who I am. I think my family knows who I am. I think the people who surround my life know who I am. You always trying to appease people who don't know you is ridiculous. Her going after his masculinity, knowing full well that this is a married man that she is speaking to. She is trying to emasculate him and produce something into the mindset of the public to bring him down, because she feels like on some level that he is at a level of respect and admiration that she has yet to obtain. The only reason why most people spend all their time trying to tear other people down is because they have not arrived at the level to which they think those other individuals has arisen to. And it bothers me how we as a Black culture have not moved past some of this elementary stuff. Just because your son pulls his pants up around his waist and wears a belt doesn't make him soft. Just because this person doesn't want to be tattooed all up in the face, hands, body, and all of this other kind of stuff does not mean that he doesn't understand or is not a masculine person. I've said this before. I'm going to say this again today. Yeah. Being a man is more than just being able to screw. Being a man is more than just simply being able to go out, hold on to your nuts all day, stand on the corner and holler at some chick. Being a man is more than those things. You have to be able to articulate. You have to be able to assimilate and move throughout society and the world, producing something in the world. Being a man is about having balance, being nurturing, and knowing how to have a balance between a nurturing nature and a conquering nature, and a supplying nature, and those types of things. So there is a difference between what you all have in your mindset as being a man. And when I did my show over here, where I talked about all these temple whores, and folks got all mad, and folks didn't want to follow the channel anymore because I said you were running around here sleeping with your pastors and you're doing all this stuff, and they got mad. How dare you say that about women? You hate Black women. No, I hate liars. And I ain't too fond of hoes, if you really want to know the truth.
Hello.
I ain't too fond of them either. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I've done some things, but I'm just saying I'm not too fond of them. I'm just saying, okay? I like people who understand and can bring some level of balance. So don't get mad at me when I'm over here on my channel, because people come over here on this channel and they'll send me a little slick, sly message. Well, I don't like this person because I don't like them, and I don't like this. This ain't your channel. You can go start your own channel. You can go like who you want to like, have them up on your platform, go on about your business. Because at this point, I'm okay. We're okay. We're going to move and do what we have to do. But ladies, for God's sake, Stop defining what masculinity is by looks. Stop defining what masculinity is by how many babies this man done had. Because some of you so silly, you don't want him unless he got 2 or 3 baby mamas with your crazy self.
Crazy. It is.
It's embarrassing.
Crazy. They feel like if you're a man and you're at a certain age and you don't have any kids yet, then you must be gay. What the hell?
No, I believe condoms and toaster ovens work. I'm just saying, because if you use a condom and you use condoms help with results, and so do toaster ovens. Those are the only 2 things that I've used throughout my whole life experience that I know for a fact works. If you push that lever down on the toaster oven, sooner or later toast comes popping right back up out of that thing. You be like, boy, this is crusty. It sure work. If you strap on, 9 times out of 10, unless you having a really exciting night.
And let's end on this.
Go ahead.
Let's end on this. One, if you are a so-called educated PhD licensed psychiatrist, have you ever heard of an educated psychiatrist supporting spanking?
No.
I've never educated psychiatrist. I have never heard support spanking.
Right.
So that right there is a red flag. Number 2, you're questioning this manhood of this man who you know is married. Once again, as a licensed medical mental therapist, what self-respecting person would do that? I would think as a psychiatrist, you would support a black man who is showing a softer side to a black woman, knowing the history of domestic violence and attacks that are recently been plaguing our African-American community. See, that's somebody from a psychiatrist's perspective that would bring that into perspective. But no, you're so hoodish that you're over questioning his manhood because he's challenging your perspective. That right there, from a therapeutic standpoint, so eliminate her from any conversation about her being a license at all.
100%. I was watching that because I'd never seen that. I was literally cringing and so uncomfortable because she was disrespecting and contradicting herself, disrespecting him and contradicting herself at the same time, because she was calling him names, challenging his masculinity when they were just previously talking about gentle parenting, right? And then you're calling him soft after the fact, contradicting yourself because you're talking about gentle parenting, but yet you're calling him soft and trying to maybe imply that he may be abusive verbally to his wife. You speak to your wife like that. You don't talk to me like that. And he didn't say anything.
He wasn't rude at all.
Or rude to her at all. He was just, she kept speaking over him. And it's like, what are you talking about?
And what did he say? We just had a meeting about this. Yeah. Now, I have the tendency, which I'm trying to get better for those of you that follow the program, just know I'm working on it. Sometimes I have the tendency to interrupt the guests because something done hit my mind. Like I'll interrupt them and be like, okay, y'all hold that thought because I got to get something out. And it's only because I'm 50 and sometimes my thoughts escape me if I don't get them out right away. And that's another reason why y'all will notice, y'all may not notice this, I always have a pad and a pen close by because I have to like write stuff down while they're talking so I don't forget what I'm going to say or the question that I have, because it just happens to me a lot. Now, here's another thing, another dynamic here that I want to talk about. Because like Dr. Being Beautifully Honest mentioned here, like she mentioned here, she contradicted herself. And ladies, I want to tell you something. This is why a lot of men don't show a nurturing nature unless we're lying next to you in bed. Yeah, that's why most let me get this out. Let me work this out, because see, I got to get this out because it's been weighing in on me. Let me tell you something, ladies. The reason why the nurturing nature doesn't come out until we're lying next to you in bed is because you will do exactly what this woman just did. You will use a nurturing nature against him in public, trying to emasculate him.
There you go.
And this is one of the reasons why a lot of times you will see that most dudes aren't going to be kind or to show any side of gentleness in public, because they know that society says if a man smiles, if he looks happy, or if he shows any of those signs, he is weak or he's not a man. Or so a lot of guys will typically not do it. Case in point, Kanye West. Kanye West smiles and laughs a lot, but he doesn't do it in public. And if he is caught smiling, he will typically stop smiling and try to look all hard, because in society, you're not a man if you standing up there laughing and having fun. My nature is to laugh. I love to laugh. That is part of who I am. If you don't like to laugh, you would never like my black behind, because we're going to laugh all day, all night, because I am a goof ball. That is who I am. I'm a great ball of goof. So it is what it is. I'm just saying. So, and the Bible says that a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. I takes my medicine every day. Now, Darielle, you wanted to say something. Go ahead. I know.
No, I was gonna say, like, from a male perspective, women, not black women, not all black women, but certain women need to understand that you identify the patriarchy by doing it. I would think, not, this is just me talking, a man that is showing you gentleness should be somebody that you should feel comfortable with, not someone that you challenge their manhood because they're slow to show anger to you, because just because they're not manly a buck, or the nature of what a quote unquote male is, they're not at the same spectrum. But that's not true. I would think that would be a positive nature to showcase, not something in the negative. And that's why a lot of women are dealing with like these non-emotional black men that don't know how to control their anger and are quick to slap somebody. They don't know how to show emotion, but you think that that's attractive.
Oh, and my God, like society and music and all these different things have really played on the minds of women when it comes to that stuff. And I can remember, like, back in the day, like, like DMX, like, oh my God, he's so sexy and whatever. And the nigga had babies all over the place, was treating his wife like trash. MC Light, she had the song Roughneck,
right.
Want to have, and the chicks were like listening to that. Oh yeah, I want a roughneck. All right, you want a nigga that's gonna be knocking you all around the house and just
pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? So they see men who are the opposite of that as weak or whatever. And I agree with what y'all said. A woman may not get that side of a man in public because they may weaponize that and try to emasculate them in public. And it's crazy. So
now, let me say this, since my cousin is in the room. I was dating this girl named Tiffany. I ain't going to put her last name out there. I'm just going to say her first name. Now, Tiffany lived on the same street as my cousin's mother used to live on. So one day, Tiffany and I are dating and whatever. We both worked for the Toyota Motor Corporation at the time, corporate office. Don't be a hater, just learn to celebrate. I'm not bragging. I'm just trying to tell you I'm well equipped. So anyway, we're working, good money, making good money, whatever. So Tiffany and I we going out on these couple of dates. Now I noticed Tiffany was loving the dates because, of course, as a man, if I invite you to dinner, I'm paying for the dinner, right? So she's enjoying these dinners because these dinners was nice, right? So we going out to these dinners. And so it's about the second, third date. I was like, okay, let me go on and make this, clear to her where I'm going and where my mind is going with this whole situation. Tiffany looks across the table at me, Darielle, and she says, oh, it will never work. It'll never work. I say, why is it not going to work? What's the deal? Why it won't never work? Tiffany says to me, because you're too nice. That's what she said to me. And I was devastated. First of all, because I was like, I never knew that being a nice person would work against me as a human being. Like being nice to this woman, in her mind, now I realize, to me, she's just crazy, immature, et cetera, et cetera. I get it.
Yeah.
You understand? Because in my mind, okay, you're the kind of woman you want me to, hit it from the back, pull your ponytail and throw your cell phone up against the wall at the same time. To you, that's kind of like, that's the kind of rough dude you want. You want to deal with that kind of dude. Look here, chick. That's not who I am. Understand. And I understand, you can go for that if that's what you want. But that's what she said to me. And I'm only saying that to tell you all this. A lot of people make the mistake of diminishing what they should be exalting and putting up before them. Because let me tell you something. Oh, God, help me. How do I say this in a nice way? The things that matter most in life are things like credit, having decent, understanding your finances.
Yeah.
As an adult, you should change your mind about some stuff.
Mhm.
And want to bring some stability to your life, and certain things and certain individuals will never bring that to your life. That's why as an older man, Dariel, I can't speak for you, I'm gonna speak for me. I don't want the chick who wants to go out every weekend and be at the club. That ain't gonna meet my expectation. You understand? I'm done. I did my clubbing. That's over with me.
I'm past that. I'm pushing 40 in 3 years. I don't want to be in no club. What I want to do in the club?
Right. I'm coming home. I need what's for dinner. I don't want it all. We can drink at home, and it's cheap.
Exactly, and it's less expensive.
Yes. Everything is expensive. I like me a good bike ride. We can walk.
Right.
We can chill and relax. I'm just
But this Cheyenne Bryant is the kind of female who she wants the celebrity life. She wants to party. She wants to be in the private jet. She wants to go here, wants to go there. And none of that. If you are a rich man in Hollywood, you better run, because I'm here to tell you she is trouble in the making. She's trouble in the making.
Being beautifully honest, did you see that Shannon Sharp episode with her? And did you see her lift her skirt up?
I did not see that. I will admit, because it's hard for me to watch him. I've seen some clips here and there. I've seen some clips here and there of the she called it therapy session with Shannon.
This heifer lifted up her skirt to prove a point, and I went, "What?
Was that front or back?"
Front.
I'll go look for the episode, and that's just for informational and research purposes. Go ahead.
But it was so off-putting. She was trying to prove a point that certain men just want to look at this and that. Oh, you want this, you want that, and she lifted her skirt to this man. And I went,
listen. See, this is what. But wait a minute. Whoa. See, I say a lot of things that church folks just won't say. So let me get this out here. I do not apologize for being a man. I do not apologize for looking at a vagina if it's available to be seen, looking at a breast. You're not gonna make me feel like I'm on my way to hell, because I was created to like and look at what I like and look at. When you read the scripture and understand the context of why things were written and who he was talking to, it was never written to say we're not. The Bible says, when they say, oh, well, if you even look on a woman to lust on her, you guilty. Nigga, I'm guilty. I've been guilty. I was guilty when I was 7. Nigga, what is you talking about? We've been guilty before we were 7. What are you talking about? I don't know. I can't speak for no other man, but I saw some teachers that I was like, she got a fat ass. Like I was in elementary school. Like, are you kidding me? We've been guilty. It is who we are. It is what we are. You're not going to make me feel guilty. Now, bringing balance to that, because you have to have balance. Right. Mm-hmm. You need to understand what vagina is yours, what booty is yours, what belongs to you, and what don't belong to you. And this is how you're able to create balance. And as a married man, you need to conduct yourself in a certain way so that your eyes are not always wandering and you're not always off aloof trying to look at something that doesn't belong to you.
Right. Correct.
I'm just saying, just bringing balance. So I'm sick of all this. All you church folk who gonna come over here with your Bible bullets talking about, oh, you can't look at this. That's why y'all are inundated with everything else. Mm-hmm. And so if you so mad that your church is so inundated with everything else and whatever everything else might be to you, understand something. It is because you have tried to diminish what men are and who we are, and I do not apologize for it. I will never apologize for it. And you ain't gonna make me feel guilty. You ain't gonna make me feel bad. And brothers, if you come by this channel, you need to clip this part and send it to all your religious fanatic friends. Men are supposed to be men. We're supposed to like what we like, and we're supposed to enjoy what we enjoy. And I'm not gonna feel guilty because of it. So there you go. So suffer unto the, I found this in the book of Marcellus, suffer unto what he said and go do what he said doeth, because he is righteth and you don't like it, and it don't even mattereth, because it's still gonna be the way that it is.
I had to roll out, y'all. I'll be right back. I had to roll out.
All right, I'm gonna start. Well, you can come back and give me your final thoughts. Hurry up, because I got to get it from Being Beautifully Honest. Dr. Being Beautifully Honest, give me your final thought. Because I'm just telling the TI truth. Go ahead.
No, all I can say is I just agree with what you have been saying. This chick is on another level when it comes to the delusion of not having to prove that she is a doctor and all these, online shenanigans that she has going on. This is insane. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before, ever.
Yeah. Go ahead, Darielle.
Yeah, I never liked her. I think she's always been problematic, but this is becoming clear and evident that she's a hustler and a grifter. And I am proud to see so many Black medical professionals stand up and be like, this woman is out of order. Please do not listen to her. She is dangerous. Just like what you said, Marcellus, about Prophet Khan and another on Regina's thing. She needs to be marked. She needs to be classified at what she is. She is not a licensed professional. There is no dissertation. There is no information of her defending her PhD at all. So until that is on the record, I don't care if you license yourself as doctor. I don't care if you have went into the patent office and publicly trademark your name as Dr. Bryant. You are not a licensed medical professional. And if I were you, I will get with a crisis PR management team and get you some proper verbiage. When you're talking, it is doctoral, not doctorial. And I will also suggest...
She could be from the South, Darielle. Why you messing with her? She could be from down there in Georgia.
And I will also say, if you have done any form of professional counseling with people, and because that's been talked about, a couple of people said that they did some counseling with her, and you don't have the licenses that you should be having, you better get with an attorney, because that is a crime.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is a crime. And I think people definitely need to know that. Well, you guys stay put. I think I might end up having to do a private live because I feel the necessity to say a little bit more than what I done said here today. Because honestly, I think I did really well because I really wanted to really get really deep into that. Because ladies, I really feel like y'all keep getting all y'all information from women and you really need to learn how to start talking to men. I don't like it when women say certain things to me because I'd be like, I know where you got this information from and it did not come from a man. And I know that just based on what you're saying. And it gets frustrating for us sometimes. I'm just here to tell you, it's just the truth. But I appreciate every single one of you. Hopefully I did this story justice. I do understand that, some of you may not necessarily be used to my kind of commentary. Some of you like for everything to be sweet and wrapped up into a Christian tortilla bubble, but understand something, that is not who I am. I'm a very balanced man. And here's another thing that we need to talk about at some point. All of this secular and you call everything secular. Oh, that's not Christian. It's from the secular world. You live in the secular world. Yeah. Do you not understand that if God is love, he can anoint people to write love songs? Because he is love. Mm-hmm. Do you not realize that not everybody want to sing music and hear gospel music when they dancing? You all up in the club talking about he brought the sunshine. That don't even make sense. You're not balanced. Y'all don't have balance. And this is one of the reasons why the church is in such trouble. And I know I'm getting out of here. You laughing at me, but it's really the truth. Dr. Being Beautifully Honest, let me tell you something. My mother, who was not a Christian, understand something. My mother was not a Christian. My mother would listen to gospel music, but about 12 o'clock noon, the radio would switch. Mm-hmm. Now, I was a Christian. I was the only person in my family who was a Christian. So we would go from rocking with Jesus while we were cleaning the house about 12 noon. Rock with me tonight for old time's sake. I mean, the music would just switch. Right. Now me, because I love music, I'll be up there. I done went from rocking with Jesus, but now I'm over here.
Now you're rocking with Freddie.
So wait a minute. Here's the funny thing. I used to be scared to even mention those types of things in church, but the Lord had to deal with me that even though I didn't know it was happening to me, God was giving me a balance. Mm-hmm. Because let me explain something to you. Some of you saints are so off balance. You think everything in the world is evil. No, some of your intentions are evil. Some of your motives are evil. But taking your wife out dancing and letting her enjoy herself and move her hips. First of all, you can't, you're going to have to be able to move. And you're going to have to be able to have a little bit of fun. The real men don't want to hear when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon my heart, I will dance like David danced all the time. That ain't what we want to hear. I'm just trying to keep some balance around here. I'm just keeping it real. You know, I need for you to go and shake it fast, and I'm gonna watch yourself. Show me what you're working with. I want to see it. Understand what I'm saying? And I love the Lord. I love him. I tell you, truly, I love him. But I want to see you dance. And every now and then, shout out to Jamal Bryant, I'm gonna buy you something and tell you to put it on.
Mm-hmm.
Notice I said I'm gonna buy it.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you to put this on. And no, I don't want you coming out of the house looking like the first district missionary of the first apostolic missionary on the rough side of the Mountain Baptist Church. No, I don't.
Right.
Now, we're going to go into a setting where that dress is appropriate and what you are wearing is appropriate, but you have to have balance, people. You have to have balance. I'm just saying. That's all I'm gonna say. Because some of y'all, you get too you too spiritual to it. It just don't even make no sense. And then you wonder why don't nobody want to be with you. And then when they are with you, they cheat on you all the time. Because let me tell you something. Strawberry and Diamond down the street, they love the Lord, but they also love DMX, they love Tupac, they love a whole lot of other stuff. You understand? There's a balance there. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I know I gave you some stripper names right there, but y'all forgive me because that's came to my mind, but I'm sorry. But anyway, there's a balance there, ladies and gentlemen. And as I get older now, I understand and appreciate the balance that God brought into my life. Because even when I speak to these issues, I have a great sense of balance with those things. And that's one of the things that most people who follow this channel and who have followed me for years understand. I have the ability to bring the balance between the sacred, right? And the sacred, the spiritual, and also the cultural and the natural. You know, and speaking truth to culture is very important. That's why a lot of people don't want to be a Christian, because they feel like we crazy and we don't have no balance. You can't have no fun as no Christian.
Exactly. I want to say something real quick, because you were talking about in one of your videos, I was watching a replay on about how the different churches are, and you were saying how the AME church is more educated and the Pentecostals are like crazy. I tell you no lie. I grew up, when I was a little girl, I grew up in an AME church. And so I saw the different things. I saw, you know, I was a child though. And then when I got older, like going into like middle school years, my mom started switching to, I guess it was more like Pentecostal holiness. But I'm thankful that my mom never forced me into going to that type of atmosphere, because being on the outside looking in and seeing some of the stuff. And when I was an adult, I started like visiting and seeing it. And I'm not saying immediately I was like, but then I started seeing stuff on whatever. I was like, all these women, I was married. All the women up in there are single. Except my mom, she was married, but my dad wasn't going to the church.
Right.
Even the pastor, she's a woman, but her husband wasn't going to the church. And I started looking around. I'm like, if I keep going to this church, I'm going to wind up single like all these women are.
Absolutely.
And I was in a happy marriage. Like, you know what I mean? And so I stopped going, and they started reaching out to me, and it was sort of like cult-like, and it's like, what
well, you know what? Can I be honest? Because see, I haven't said this on this platform in a long time, but I have to say it. The reason why a lot of dudes, we don't like going to church, it's just over feminized.
Oh yeah,
and we can't talk about that either, because when the moment that you talk about that, then you become unspiritual, and then when you have to address all of these men running around here. Oh Lord, let me go on. Let's end this program, because these people gonna be mad at me. I already know I'm gonna get a ton of stuff. Don't send me no emails. Don't send me no comments, because I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna block you. I have a great blocking ministry now. Let me tell you something. It's over feminized, and you're sitting up here talking about we are all against all of these LGBTQ people, and all of you dressing up in gowns.
Right.
You're wearing gowns and a whole bunch of ruffles and feathers, and you got all kinds of stuff going on in the church. And then you sitting up talking about, but we don't deal with the LGBT. You are the LGBT community.
Yeah.
You're literally, you've over feminized everything. You don't even call worship if a man is sitting in silence, and he's in solitude, and he's thinking and reflecting on his life, and he's looking down the corridors of his experience in life, and he's worshiping in a solemn moment. Everybody lift your hand. Come on, lift it up. Lift. Everything's got to be, it's got to be super hyped and emotional. And then all your songs is dreary. Hallelujah. We just got everything is dreary.
Yeah.
And then you say we're not entering into a worship experience unless we all crying and we all got to be sad. I don't know if this has ever happened to any of you. I have went to church in a good mood and left in the worst mood than I showed up in.
Depressed. Exactly. But I only brought that up to say I grew up in a church where I did see balance. It was church on Sundays, and then you had the other music, and you saw people, they weren't drunks or whatever, but they were drinking, a beer or wine. Or I saw that when I was a little girl, so I didn't grow up in this atmosphere where I see a lot of it is now is like zero balance, and it's kind of like it's just crazy. It's not even like, yeah.
But that's another reason why, as a Pentecostal, I've always leaned toward the educated Pentecostals.
Yeah.
And not the Pentecostals who have all these fake degrees. Because most of the people that you call in doctor in the Pentecostal church do not have earned degrees.
Right.
They're lying. And I could name them right now. Some of them are famous. You know them. You call them Dr. Creflo Dollar. No, not so. Dr. I.V. Hillier, not so. And Clarence McClendon back in the day used to call himself Dr. Fake Degrees, all these people with all these fake degrees. Dr. Bridget Hillier, fake degrees. You go down the list. I can go down the list and down the list. These people are just well known amongst society. They don't even have real doctorates. And get this, the people that have the real doctorates who are trying to get you to re-examine and re-look at things, you sitting up telling them they a heretic and they don't know what they talking about, but they got earned degrees.
Right.
I love and appreciate every single one of you. I'm about to go turn on some R&B so I can relax. Because I need to woo-saw, because I need to go turn on some R&B. And the AME church, honestly, being beautifully honest, I've kind of been thinking, okay, Marcellus, I love the fellowship of the saints, but I would have to find the right sort of educated environment,
right,
and word-centered environment, because I don't want to go to no church where I got to hear the pastor preach about his emotions and all of the stuff that he going through. I don't that kind of preaching makes me sick. I don't like that, and that's done away with. But I appreciate you.
Get a therapist.
What'd you say?
Get a therapist for that.
What? The preacher to talk about his emotions and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get a therapist.
Well,
not,
and
not
I do.
Bryant.
And listen, I believe in online therapy. Some of you who cannot afford to go to a really expensive therapist, now they have online therapy.
Absolutely.
Some of these therapists are now online. So you can have an online therapy session. Now, don't be like me and have your first therapy session and be crying like a baby, because that's what happened to me. I was like, these people started telling me, well, explain this. And the more I talk, I was like, well, this did happen to me, because we bury so much stuff as Black people, and we go through so much stuff and we just bury it and we pile stuff on top of it when we've gone through a lot of traumatic experiences. Really, really, truly we have. But I'm done. I love and appreciate you being beautifully honest. Stay put, Doctor. Being beautifully honest. Dr. Darielle, you stay put. I appreciate every single one of you. For those of you that are supporting the show, I want to send a shout out to you. For those of you, I think we need about 8 more of you if you're watching the replay to help us meet our goal for today. I didn't look at the updated number, Lord Jesus. Let me go over there real quick, so I ain't got to tell you no fable where we're at. Let me see where we're at. Scooby Doopy Doo. Yeah. So we got 8 more of y'all. So I just need 8 more of y'all. If you're watching the replay, just be a blessing if you feel led to do that. Thank you so much. I love, and appreciate every single one of y'all. Y'all know I'm gonna probably have to go live because I got some more stories to tell y'all. Because this dating life of mine has been very, very interesting. I've even gone on blind dates because this is something I thought I would never do. Like, I've had my friends fix me up with other people for real. But anyway, that's a long. We'll go private and we'll talk about that. But I love and appreciate every single one of y'all. My worst experience, I was bowling with one of my other friends. This chick showed up. She smelled like she had just got out of the marijuana field. I mean, the field of marijuana, like she was cutting down the stalks. I said, Lord Jesus. Now, knowing who I am, now, honestly, I was talking to somebody who smoked weed at one point, because if that's what people want to do, I told you I have balance, right? It ain't gonna make me smoke no weed, because that ain't my life. But you know, the good thing about her is normally when she smoked weed, she always wanted to go to bed. Going to bed is fine. God bless y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all hang on, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. Y'all make sure y'all like this video. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. Please make sure that you hit the like button, and please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit the bell icon, and make sure you press all notifications, so that way you will never miss any of the exclusive content that comes on my channel. Make sure that you never miss a video. Now, I try to go live every day about 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then I come back at night at around 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 10:30 Eastern Standard, with some more exclusive content. So if you want more Mad Church Disease show content, we'd love for you to become a member, a revolutionary member of our channel. Please make sure that you hit the join button that's right next to the subscribe button, or somewhere around here, so that you guys can receive access to special community posts. You guys get all of the access to my community only lives, because we've got some sipping chats that we're going to be doing, and you guys will get exclusive content. So just make sure that you head on over to the channel page, click on the join button, and make sure that you do that. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate your love and support, and I'll see you on my very next video.
We are Mad Church Disease, helping you understand that Jesus plus nothing is everything. This is a show for everyone, believers and non-believers, from churched to the unchurched. Help us grow the channel by supporting our non-profit causes and create more consistent content. Donate by Cash App or PayPal, or buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com.